Good morning, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room. Come on in. We are working on day 40. It's called Double Tuck. We are remaking the reel, the short video from my 100 days of envelopes into a long form tutorial. Very simple projects, easy to follow, and we're having a nice conversation and enjoying each other's company. So if you're new here, welcome. And I invite you to join the chat below because we have some really great conversations, and it's just a really lovely community. So today, day 40, I have an envelope and I have trimmed the sides. It is not necessary to trim your sides for this project. I just thought I would experiment and try something. With the envelope opened like that, it might be easier to decorate and then close it and glue the sides back up. I don't think I've done this before, so I just thought I would try it. This project will be glued down into our journal like this by the flap. That's what's going to hold it. So it will be interactive in that it opens up. So I've marked an X on the back because I do not need to decorate this side of the flap. I will be decorating inside. That's again why I thought maybe let's try opening it and gluing it back together, because it's always kind of hard to fit things in. Why I'm trying to work smarter, not harder here. Anyways, this project being double tuck, double tucks are on the front. That's what you'll see, and that's where you can slide in your ephemera bits. So I think you'll like this one too. It's again very simple, but like Mary says, the humble envelope, we can transform it into a million things. So I'm working with the Secret Attic papers again today. I think let's do this one. Let's try this guy. Let's start with that. And this is what I thought. It might be easier because I want to, that'll be glued down. I want something on the front all the way around here. I'm going to try just gluing something right onto, with it opened up. Let's see if that works a little better. Might be a little faster too. You know, one of the reasons I love making junk journals is, especially around the holidays, is because they feel like little, I don't know, little time machines. Like every single scrap of paper and every stamp, every piece of lace, every little bit, it reminds us, or can remind you of something, and it brings up like a nostalgia feeling. Sometimes it's a big deal. Sometimes it's like a photograph that we add to our junk journal, like from something from years ago. But often it's even just those little things that create a little memory spark, let's say, or spark our memories. Send you tripping down memory lane. I read somewhere that most of the viewers, because I know who my audience is, so most people like you and I have minimum 50 items that are nostalgic items. So whether that is something from your family, like a grandparent, say, that's no longer with us, or just some, it doesn't have to be from an item from someone that's passed. It can still be like something, your children's homework or whatever, like did you keep your kids' hair, like that sort of thing. I think I'm going to cut this straight across. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut this one straight across. Let's try to make a straight line here, Kathy. Not bad. Isn't that, when you think about it, and it doesn't have to be large things. It could be small, could be photographs, could be a little tag, could be your kids. Like I saved a lot of stuff from my daughter. I have one daughter. And I saved a lot of stuff from her childhood. I'm talking schoolwork, her baby teeth Did you save your kids' teeth? I know some people find that really creepy, but I still have my daughter's baby teeth. I didn't save any hair. Some people do hair. But yeah, over 50 items of nostalgia, which I'm thinking I have way more than 50. A handwritten recipe from your mom or your grandma or something. Or I know my grandfather, when my grandfather passed, we were each allowed to grab something from his desk, his office. He was an auto body mechanic, like he did auto body work. So he had a little office. So when you came into the house, you would walk in. There's 2 doors on the back of the house. One went into the office, one went into the living room area. And we often did not go through the office. That was not our place. He was also a smoker, so we stayed out of that room because that's where he would smoke. And as kids, anyways, I grabbed a few things out of his desk. So one was a lighter, one was a money clip. Like those are nostalgia items, right? Things that remind you of the past. So this is, like I said, one of the reasons I love making junk journals, because it's of that, the memory keeping. And a journal is a wonderful place. Let's try this, see how that looks. One of the things about junk journals is they hold our memories. I'm going to try to find a center. I'm just doing this by eye. Yeah. You guys keep telling me stick a piece of paper, extra piece of paper in there, and I forget every time. I just go all willy-nilly and try to make this work, and it's just not. I think it's time for a new one. Let's try it. Try it like that. There we go. Well, I guess I don't need a new one if I have a workaround, do I? Oh. Didn't quite make the mark. One more time. One more time. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think that's why I really love working with these vintage style papers and why I like designing vintage style papers. It's just whether this reminds me of anything in particular or not, it still brings on that feeling of nostalgia, simpler times, happy times, that our presence here in the world meant something. I don't know. It's probably psychologically pretty deep. And I probably don't know the whole extent of it. I think that's going to be enough. Do you think? I'm just want to cover this right here. Let's try it. You know, and memory keeping doesn't have to be like grand or formal. I think scrapbooking is more formal, more organized, where junk journaling allows us to be a little more freeform. I mean, like, look at what I'm using. Like, it just, right? Are you straight-ish? Not quite. Got a little bit of time with that glue, using a glue stick to redo that. I'm using the lines on my mat to try to line up properly here. There we go. That's why I like using the mat with lines, measurements. Okay. And especially if you make a journal and add to it and then hand that down, or even, even if you write in your journals and then revisit them later on. I'm sure you know that feeling, like you smell something and it reminds you, like a scent or the taste of something, or so that's this time of year, fall, like the apple cider, the apple cider donuts, all the things, right? Like it just takes you back to, oh yeah, cozy fall vibes. So nostalgia doesn't have to be 50 years ago. It can be last year. It can be anything that gives you that feeling of remembering. Oh, I should get a proper definition of nostalgia. I think we just all know what nostalgia is, but I'll throw it up on, I'll find one and we'll throw it up on the screen here. There we go. I don't know, these colors I think just like transport you to another era. Like the sepias, and the florals and the handwriting. It just brings you back. So sometimes it feels like I'm not just making a page or in my journal or making a little envelope project. It's like I'm offering myself, if it's my journal, or to the end user, whoever purchases the journal, I'm offering them a feeling of, remember this, like step here, just stay here a while. Like it feels good. It just feels good. I think that's why I gravitated towards the vintage style. You know that feeling you get when you walk through an antique market and you're like, and you see like some vintage Tupperware or something, like, oh, we used to use those when I was a kid, like the vintage salt and pepper shakers. We had those, or some Pyrex or something you recognize, or Corral dishes or whatever it is. And you're like, oh, we had those. Like that feeling, you know. I know not all memories are good memories, but I think when we do something pretty, it does help us remember a nicer time. A good memory. I think it generates good memories. Okay, that was creepy. That was really creepy. I'm talking about memories and nostalgia, and something just shifted in my room. Okay, and keep going, Kathy. Well, I'm going to count that as a good thing. Psychology. So when we're thinking about psychology, that's what I think I was trying to get at, was it releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin. Like it makes crafting emotionally rewarding. So I really think that's why I gravitate towards these colors here. Oops, I forgot to do my crease. All that I was talking about doing my crease and I didn't do my crease. Recipes is a big one, right? Like keeping your family recipes. Like one year I made my husband at the time, his nan's Irish whiskey, like Bailey's. I don't know, do you have Bailey's? We have Bailey's here. It's like a cream Irish whiskey that we put in a coffee or drink on ice or whatever, or a sipper. I haven't had that in ages. Okay, so that's going to get glued down. That goes like that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to glue my sides shut now. Anyways, when I made that for Christmas as Christmas gifts and bottled it, and then I scanned her handwritten recipe, and that became part of the label on the bottle. It was really well received. It was, people loved it. And of course I used her recipe to make homemade Baileys. There we go. There we go. So that's, you know, nostalgia. That brought everybody back to, of course she had passed by that time, and brought everybody back to, oh, remember Nan making her Baileys every Christmas, you know, homemade Baileys. There we go. All right, so that's going in. So pretty. Let's just look at that for a second. That's so pretty. I just love these colors. So this is from the French document. So it has, like, you can see the faux vintage tape. I think that's really pretty. I think it goes really nicely with that. That's the goal. Most of my kits, everything goes together. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you kept family recipes, like the originals. And if you did any special projects with them, I would love to hear about it, because I'm looking for ideas for things to do with old family recipes. I've seen people do, well, I'm just going to wait and see what you come up with, because I would love to hear if you've done anything besides junk. It doesn't have to be junk journal related. What have you done with old family recipes? I know I have like this one kit, Elfie, which is a fall kit with recipe card printables in it, and it's just yeah. Okay, now this is where we put the two the double tucks. So we need something sturdy, like cardstock. Perhaps this is cardstock. That will work. Let me just get rid of this little bit. That will work. And I need two pieces that are roughly the same size. Just going to flip this over. And I'm going to do a little trimming. I'll be right back. Yeah, so I have ended up with two pieces. This one's about 1.5 centimeter or inches wide. That one's about 1.75 roughly. So this is getting glued down. So basically I want to do this. It's okay if they're not exactly the same size. Just figure out your layout. Kind of like the idea of switching this one around. Yeah. I'll do that. Okay, so once you figure out your layout, let's get these inked up. We'll start with the inside one. The outside, the one closest to the outside of your envelope, to the outside edge of your envelope, that one gets glued on 3 sides, and the other one gets glued on 2 sides. So this goes here. This goes here. So you want to glue this one down first. So and this one tucks underneath. So it's okay that this one's a little bit bigger. Probably a good idea if it is actually. Okay, so I'm just eyeballing. I'm seeing the space I need here. So this first one, the bigger one of the two, I'm just gluing this end, and that's it. So when I'm talking about memory keeping with memorabilia that you keep, like I said, it doesn't have to be big stuff. It doesn't have to be a wall portrait. It could be something as simple as a pressed flower from an event, or a tea bag tag, or like your grandma's favorite tea. Or it doesn't, I keep saying grandma, it doesn't even have to be grandma's. It can be your kids. It can be, oh when I was pregnant, I craved Wonder Bars. So you keep a Wonder Bar wrapper, whatever it is. It's, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be small. So that's why these little scraps are, and then you look at it and you think, oh, am I really going to put that in the journal? Because on its own, it's just really not that pretty. But you know what? If you frame it with like a printable of some sort, all of a sudden it becomes significant, right? It looks intentionally significant, or it looks, I've got my thumb on the wrong side. I've got my thumb on the right side. It's this outside edge we want to glue. So I've got my thumb where I don't want the glue. And you glue all 3 sides this time. There's also a comfort in familiar images. So it might be like your mom's handwriting or something like that. I don't know, those nostalgic designs, let's call them designs, like the handwriting, for example. or it could be a brand of something, like say Pepsi. So you're like, that's your thing, your family's thing. It's that kind of familiarity that, I don't know, that nostalgia, those designs, and this nostalgic designs, let's call them, they help people feel like rooted, calm, connected, purposeful. That warm familiarity, I don't know, it just keeps us coming back to, you know, what's important in life, I think. Okay, so there we go. Let's find a spot for this before we add the ephemera. Now, yesterday I had to zip out because I had an appointment, I had to get my oil changed. So I came back after this dried and I finished this tag. So I just added something from the Snips and Sentiments there. I added this gal to the tag. So she's just a Tim Holtz dolly. And then it's more like a bookmark, isn't it? And then some snowflakes. And then on the other side, I did add a few of those little snowflakes from the dollar store. That's just these guys. That's going to last me forever. And of course we've got the writing space. So that was, I just thought I would show you that from yesterday, that I did go back and finish that. Okay, so again, we're working in the second signature of this journal. I had added a couple of days ago this one, and then I added something on the front side of that signature. Now I'm going to go to the back side of that signature and add, I think maybe right here. So how many pages are left after that? Oh wait, maybe I need to, let's do the same thing again where we leave room for writing. Let's do it right here. I like that. Yeah, let's do it there. So add some glue. So junk journaling, always loving the junk journaling, loving on the junk journaling. It really does tie that together, right? That, like for me, it's printables. For you, it might be something else. But for me, it's the printables that really invoke that nostalgia feeling. And then I can add things to my journals, the actual memories. So it's like double, it's like twofold. It's like getting double bang for your buck there with junk journaling. You're using papers and little scraps and things to make your junk journals that make you feel nostalgic already, and then we add those memories to our beautiful journals. So let's hear it for junk journaling. It's one of the most amazing things ever. Okay, so now we've got the pocket inside. We have all this room for writing. Get that burnished nicely. And now we have 1 tuck, 2 tucks. So watch my thing goes all the way to the end here. That's why we don't glue the bottom of it. We want whatever we tuck in, because if I glued all 3 sides, it would stop right here. But I want the item to go right to the back. Okay, so let's grab some ephemera for this. Pretty, some of the bigger stuff here. All right, I'm going to cut out a few of, oh, we already have this one. Okay, I'm going to cut out a few of those. I'll be right back. So hello to Andrea, I got my notes here, Andrea Rose, Margot, Linda A, Handmade by Annie, welcome to the channel, Jan Lannon, Margie Derby, Mary from I Love to Journal, Crafty Corey, Nicole Lautner, Sherry Mills, and Betty Webster. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with me here in my craft room. I'm glad you're enjoying the series. Okay, so see, this is a nice big one, and it fits like right, it's fitting, it will fit both, but it's nice to put the larger one in the back there. And then we can just stagger these a little bit. I think that's probably good like that. Going to put another one in, but I don't think we need to. And then of course you can decorate this as well. And I thought maybe this angel would be a good one for that. There's a few vertical ones there. So I had a great first month at my booth at the antique market. I'm heading there this morning to add some stock. It's interesting to see what people like to purchase. I think I might just center that like, no, I think I didn't put it at the bottom. Yeah. So that's exciting. It's fun. I really enjoy it. Yeah. So as we're putting this journal together, it's like we're making a container to hold your feelings. It's like for memories yet to be written, like things that are to come. It's one of the beautiful things about slow crafting we've been talking about. It's not about rushing to the finish or it's more about enjoying the process. And each page is just going to quietly, just nicely, quietly, unassumingly carry those memories for us. And it's just waiting for you to record new memories. Like it's, I don't know. As you can tell, I'm in love with junk journaling. And if you're new to junk journaling, if you're feeling any sort of frustration whatsoever, I wholly encourage you to get a practice book and just practice techniques, and then eventually you'll be making full journals and you're going to love this craft so much. That's why I never tire of this. So every time I pick up like a scrap piece of paper, or it's like an invitation to pause and, well, remember or make something with that will carry meaning that goes far beyond today. So I think it's a beautiful little escape. It's like art therapy, 100%. Okay, so that is day 40. That's the double tuck. And I didn't slide anything inside, but I'll leave that for the gal that's purchasing this. She can put something in there, but I'll leave those little, and of course these are all now journaling cards, right, to journal on. You can journal on the back of these. That's a great little project. So again, the humble little envelope, as Mary calls them, has been transformed into something practical. It's pretty. It holds 1, 2, 3 pockets. It's great. That's a double tuck. I hope you enjoyed that project, and I look forward to hanging out with you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.